everybody. I am so excited because I literally tracked this human being down and begged them for this conversation. She is an author who's been making headlines for writing not only one of the most talked about books of the year, but everyone in my circle is also talking about it. I can't swing a cat without one of my female friends discussing this book. They're all talking about it at the table week after week. And I'm like, I need to be a part of this club. I need to understand. So the book we're discussing is Strangers. It's a memoir of marriage. This is a bestseller. It is already being fought in fact, right now, there's a bidding war in Hollywood over the book. So without further ado, please welcome Belle Burden.
Thank you so much, Drew. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
Your book comes out of the gate. May I paraphrase?
Sure, please.
May I dare?
Yes, go right ahead.
It's the beginning of COVID 2020. Your husband basically walks in after you've had 3 children, a teenage son and 2 daughters. Mm-hmm. And out of nowhere, he says, I don't want this life anymore. I don't want to be married to you. I want to go and start my new life, and I am leaving.
Yep. It's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. And he walked out. He got on a ferry. We were on an island, Martha's Vineyard, and he left and became someone I did not recognize at all.
How long had you been married before that?
Almost 21 years, and I believed very happily married. I was very much in love with my husband. We did not have a lot of conflict. He went to bed at 9 p.m. He was very mild-mannered. I did not see this coming at all.
Now, there is also infidelity.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When someone's going to bed at 9 p.m., where and when are they doing this? I think of this with my own children. I'm like, oh, you must not be up to bed. You're here, you're home, I can see you.
I can't figure that out to this day. But yes, he was having an affair. And it started with me getting a phone call on my cell phone as I was mopping the floor. And it was a message. I let it go to voicemail. The man said, I'm sorry to tell you this, but your husband is having an affair with my wife. And that was that night. And that night he was very apologetic. He said it meant nothing. It was very short. But by the morning, his whole affect had changed and he was ice cold. And that's when he said, yes, I do not want this life anymore and I'm leaving.
Looking back, did you see any signposts that made any sense to the absolute cold, icy shutdown?
I tortured myself trying to find those signs and trying to figure out when it changed and why it changed. And I still really don't see those red flags. He did not really flirt with other women. He seemed very devoted, and I really don't see it. He had a rebellious teenage life, and he described another point in his life where he felt a switch went off. And that feels like maybe what happened when he was 54 years old and another switch went off and there was a before and after. But no, I don't really see the red flags. I see some red flags about our financial story, which is a little bit different. But the romantic marital story, I can't find red flags. Not any flags that are any redder than anyone else's.
He also left you in COVID alone with your children.
Yep. And that was really hard. So like everything fell apart. And my family, I'm very close to my family, and close friends could not get to me. I could not get to them. It felt very isolating. But the flip side of that was I didn't have to go to school pickup. I didn't have to see anyone. So I would go for these very long walks. When I finally could get myself up off the bathroom floor, I started walking, and I would go for these very long walks, and I wouldn't see anybody, so I could just weep as I walked. And I think that helped me in the long run because I really felt all of it at every moment.
You didn't have to compartmentalize and put on a happy face at school pickup.
And pretend. It's horrible.
Especially when all you dream about is a nuclear family.
It was what I wanted more than anything in the world. And my parents got divorced, and then my mom got divorced a second time, and I was just determined that that was not going to happen to me. And I thought I picked someone who was going to be the opposite of their partners, my mother and my grandmother's partners, who were public figures and had been unfaithful. And I thought I was doing it so well. I'd picked like a lawyer who went to work every day in a gray flannel suit, very steady. And I repeated this pattern in my family in a bigger way.
But now what? How do you decide to set the tone for your girls and your son? So you've got girls that you want to protect and maybe break a chain in the pattern. You have a boy who is going to be a man and be out there in the world with relationships. How do you reckon with that, and how did you conduct yourself accordingly out of curiosity?
So part of it was intentional and part of it was involuntary. So when about a week after my husband left, he called me and he said, I think we should tell everyone that this was amicable, that this was a joint decision.
Yes.
And I am a very reserved person. I'm a pretty compliant person. I really deferred to him a lot during our marriage. I always thought he had great judgment. But I felt a full-bodied certainty that I would not lie about this, that my only way to survive it was to tell the truth about it. And that still absolutely surprises me. And then I would run into people, and the same thing, they would say, how are you? And I'd say, my husband left me, and I don't know why, and I'm in agony. So I had that involuntary instinct to tell the truth. But then I really thought about my mother and my grandmother having endured infidelity, chronic infidelity. And what they were taught and what they did was to really clean up the mess and to be graceful. You had to just not talk about it. And you had to protect the man and protect the man's reputation. And I saw that, I saw that in action. I inherited that, it was in my bones. And I thought, how am I going, as you said, take that link away, break this pattern for all three of my children? And I thought about it a lot as I was, trying to do jigsaw puzzles and drink tea and get through this very dark period. And I thought the only way to change this is to actually talk about it and to acknowledge what my kids are living, like what they're enduring. But to do so in a way that is not vindictive or mean about their father. Disparaging. So it's like a tightrope. It's this very hard path to walk.
We'll be right back.